Hello YouTube universe and welcome to a brand new episode of the United City Randomiser here on my channel, the United City FM. If you've joined me before, then the next part of the United City Randomiser is only moments away. If this is your first time joining me, then maybe you should search out the first episode in the series, as it will give you all the information you need to know exactly what is going on and what this series is all about. Whether you're a first-time viewer or already part of the United City, having pressed the subscribe button, you are most welcome here. But as promised, the time is now for the next part of our journey together, so let's get going. So if you remember, October was quite a tricky month for us. We played a few games here that were against top of the league opposition and we found it a bit of a struggle. You know, we got a decent draw against Mönchengladbach, but the others in that particular section were really hard and we didn't come away with much. November was better. What we did in November was we played several teams in and around our position in the league or slightly lower than our position, the likes of Hamburger, Hanover. They were all slightly below us, and that showed in terms of what we were able to achieve. We got a couple of decent results, one against Schalke, which was a performance I wasn't expecting, and a decent draw against Leipzig. Stuttgart again are in and around our position in the league, so again we demonstrated that we can cope with that. Today we've got two games. We've got a one against Borussia Dortmund, who are not performing as well as you would expect. They're sitting 9th in the league at the moment, but they're still going to be a really hard team for us to compete with. And then we have a second game against Hoffenheim, who again are in and around where we are in the league, and I would hope to get a decent result before we go into the winter break. So that's what we're going to be up to. You can see if we go here to the home screen, we're sitting 12th in the league. We're in contact roughly with the teams above us, which is good. If we could get a couple of decent results, one against specifically Hoffenheim, maybe we can get a bit more of a gap to the people immediately below us, the teams immediately below us. I don't know why I keep saying people at all. The teams below us. So that's what we're trying to achieve. If we get a semi-decent result against Borussia Dortmund and we can get a decent win potentially against Hoffenheim, then I'll be happy with that. You can see people are contributing to what we're up to. We've got a bit of cash that was injected into our transfer budget because our overall balance was good just before the transfer window starts in a few days, so that will be interesting to see whether I can do something with that. We possibly need to think about starting to replace some of our loan players a bit, but yep, that's for next episode. When we come back next episode, we'll come back after the transfer window is closed and see what I've been able to achieve. So that's for next episode. Today, Dortmund, Hoffenheim. Let's get into the first game. So team-wise, you can see that Klünter, our backup, our reserve right back as it were, is out injured. He's going to be out for a few weeks, unfortunately, 5 to 8 weeks. It was a bit of a problem, but it's only a broken wrist. I'm not quite sure why they can't plaster him up on the wrist and get him to play again, but seemingly they can't, so he's out for a little while. So we've had to rearrange our bench slightly. The only other one that's just coming back from injury is Mateta, so he won't play today. Eric R has come in occasionally for Barbosa here and there in games and has scored a goal recently, which is good at the young age that he is, so that's not too bad. Other than that, pretty much it's the same team that you would expect us to be playing at this point. So we have Greitbust in goal, Cruiser at right back, Heiss at left back, Tiru and goal in the centre of defence. Oh, there is the difference actually. Gomez has come in for Stanko, who's been picking up yellow cards quite regularly recently. So Gomez is in as the holding player, Burnich as a creative player, Wassi as the Metzala, Bertram on the left, Roberts on the right, and Barbosa up front. Let's get into the game. I've suggested to them that even though we're underdogs, that suits us. So let's go and cause an upset. They didn't really seem to be a lot of motivation from that, but that's fair enough. Dortmund are playing a 4-4-2, which is not a formation that we've come up against too much this season, so it'll be interesting to see how we cope with that. Let's go to kickoff. They get kickoff. We're away from home. That's going to be even slightly harder than it would be if we were at home to play against a team like Borussia Dortmund. But if we can compete and hold our own, I'll be happy. as long as we don't get, completely pushed off the pitch and destroyed, then I'm always happy this season, really, because this is all about learning where we are in terms of Bundesliga and the quality that we have around us now. Fairly quiet start to the first 10-15 minutes of the game. There's only been one shot and it was ours, and it wasn't on target. So we're holding our own, which is positive. The possession stats are better than maybe I would have expected at this point in the game. We look like we're... Oh, here we go. First highlight. It's their highlight. On the left-hand side, they cut it inside to Delaney, out to Witsel, Royce through to... Oh, what was that happened there? It looks like we've given away a penalty, have we? Oh, dear. That's not a good start, really. 24 minutes gone. Royce with the penalty, and no problems for him to put that away. That's very disappointing. I thought we were coping quite well up until that point and holding our own, but again, we do have to eliminate a few individual errors, really, from our game. It's one of the things that lets us down the most. We've had a couple of goalkeeping errors here and there. There's another opportunity for them which they put over the bar, but again, it's individual errors which are causing us more problems than I would like at the moment, unfortunately. And Tiru also picked up a yellow card, so we might have to watch out for that as the game progresses, see how many other yellow cards the ref hands out, and maybe change that later. But I think in general terms, we haven't got many shots away, which is a problem, but we're holding our own stats-wise. Another corner for them, another opportunity, seemed to hit the bar, I think, and then we cleared it, so at least we managed to somehow find a way to get that one away. But yes, we're not having enough opportunities at goal ourselves, but our possession stats are decent enough. And I would suggest coming into half-time, if we can keep it at 1-0, that's not too bad, although they've got another highlight here on the right hand side. Cross comes in. Royce again. Oh well, just as I was saying, I'd be happy to get to half-time at 1-0 down. We're now 2-0 down, and I'm not particularly happy by that. I think we've done all right, but we haven't really done enough ourselves to actually impact the game positively for ourselves. It was a good header. I guess you could possibly fault the defence a bit, but goalkeeper seemed to be in no chance of getting anywhere near it, really. That's a shame, but it looks like we're coming up to half-time at this point, 2-0 down. We're going to go in and try and G them up a little bit in terms of their performance. So assertively, we'll say I expect to see a much better showing from you in the second half. They seem fired up by that, so that's good. That's encouraging. They're all healthy enough just to get back out on the pitch, so let's do that. Lots of 6.3s and 6.4s in the team, which says an awful lot about how we did in the first half, really. Very disappointing with that. Considering our possession stats were quite high, I thought we would cope a bit better, but obviously it's just been keeping the ball for keeping the ball's sake rather than doing much with it. So here we go again into the second half. You can see they're having quite a good amount of shots on target compared to how many shots they have in total. That shows their quality up front when they get their opportunities, something that we can learn from. We're up to 60 minutes. It's their throw-in, but we nick the ball, and Barbosa on the edge of the box. Lovely shot. Right-footed into the top left-hand corner, it looked like. We'll see exactly where it was placed in terms of the goal in a second on the 3D, but it was a lovely, lovely opportunity there to nick the ball in from Wasi, puts it across to Barbosa, goes round one defender and cuts it back on himself into the left-hand corner. A very nice goal. I'll take that all day long. Well done, Barbosa. Good opportunity to show that he's capable at this level. He has had a bit of an injury problem in the last month or so, which has meant that he hasn't been quite as consistent scoring-wise, but he's doing well for us. So it's time to make a change. You can see we've got some low stats around the place a bit, so I'm going to have to change a few things. I'm going to take Tiro off. One, he's not playing particularly well, but also he's got the yellow card. Also, Bertram has done nothing in that half. He's on a 6.3, so he can come off. And I think I will change the other wing man as well in Patrick Roberts and take him off and bring Dade on. Those two areas of the pitch we weren't really able to use to get them to do much. So let's see if a couple of new people on those wide areas, new way of playing slightly for them, maybe they can unlock something that previously we haven't been able to. Here's another highlight. They have the ball on the right hand side for them, cutting in. Big gap in the middle of our defence, which was very disappointing, but fortunately the goalkeeper was in the right place and the shot was right at him. But you can see there a huge gap for the attackers to move into, which is something of a bit of a concern. I'm not quite sure. That's not quite how I set my team up, I don't think, so I might have to investigate that a little bit. But it's their corner kick again, another opportunity for them, but it goes over the bar. We are conceding a lot of corner kicks in this particular game, which is a bit disappointing. Always set pieces I don't think are our strength, particularly in terms of defending them. I think we do okay when we've got our own version of the set pieces, but defending them is a little more tricky. You can see I've been able to rotate the side a little bit here and there, so not today, I'm talking in other games, so we've still got 70s and stuff in terms of our conditioning at this point in the game, which is positive. That's obviously having a good effect on keeping everybody rotated and healthy enough. Looks like we're going to go down in this particular game. This is not the game that I'm really focused on, so I thought that we might struggle a little bit today. Hopefully not by another goal, but we'll see. They've got the ball on the left hand side. Hopefully this is just the end of the game highlight. But it's the next game that I'm really focused on to try and get points from if I possibly can, and see if that can help us. 2-1, not a surprise. I thought we did pretty well in stat terms, in terms of possession, but the biggest problem we have is it seemed to be possession stats for just keeping the ball sake rather than doing a lot with it. So unfortunate, but let's go in and suggest that we're not too unhappy with that, just because I don't want to do them in just for playing one of the better teams in the league. Let's go for that one. So I can't fault your performance. It was just one of those days. That's given them some positivity, which is good. So we'll come out of here, see what that's done to our league position at this point. We haven't moved anywhere. We were the early game, it looks like, or relatively early, so there's still some teams to play around us. But bring on Hoffenheim for the next game. That's the one that we really need to get the points from and see if we can boost our possibilities of staying out of the relegation zone. To be honest though, at this point in the season, 19 points from 16 games I'm very happy with. All the media keep telling me 35 points is the sort of points that we need to get to stay out of relegation. So I think we're well on track towards that. So I'm very happy. So yeah, let's bring on the next game. Here we are for game number 2 then, against Hoffenheim of this particular episode. Game number 2. I've gone all out on positivity, told them they're favourites for a reason, go and show why. I've tried to go into each section of the team and tell them that I have faith in them to, be impactful in this game, and that's produced some good, happy, positive results. So hopefully we're in for a good performance. So it's United City versus Hoffenheim, and that's 12th and 13th in the league respectively. So it's an important game. Can we get a few extra points on one of our closest rivals and move even further away from the relegation zone, which we don't want to be in at all this season if possible. So we get to kick off at home. So again, that should help us with terms of possession stats and the way that we play. Decent cross in, decent early opportunity, but a great stop by the goalkeeper. I'm not quite sure how he managed that, but at least we're having an opportunity there. That's good. They have a corner come in and put it over the bar. 3 minutes gone, couple of highlights, which is really good. Exciting type of game, free open type of game. That was a poor ball forward on a free kick in our defensive area, but we managed to recapture the ball. Wassi on the shot and puts it high over the bar. Seemed to be very high, that one. His long shots are usually much better than that, so let's hope that he gets another opportunity, having had a sighter at goal, and next time can get it on target. But yeah, very exciting first 10 minutes really compared to a lot of our games. And we've already had the 3 shots on goal, but none on target. Our possession stats have gone through the floor at the moment though, down to 26%, which I'm intrigued by. That's not normally quite how low they are, but it's our throw in. Burnich brings it in, very long shot, and almost the keeper didn't seem to move at all, which was interesting. I'll be really interested to see the 3D because it was just so unexpected. Burnich from a long way out puts it out onto his left foot and curls it right the way round the keeper, who didn't really stand a chance. The curl on the ball was magnificent, right into the corner of the goal. Wonderful shot by Burnich, and that puts us 1-up after 20 minutes. Our goal kick goes straight to their defensive area, or are they going to build up on a counter-attack to that? Or can we hopefully hold our shape, get a foot in somewhere and nick the ball back off them? We've pushed them back to the goalkeeper, which is good. Comes back out to their left-hand side. Long ball, and it looks like... What happened there? Something's gone on there. I didn't see what it was. It seemed to... there's obviously some form of foul or something as an incident for the referee to look at. So we'll see what he comes back with. Shows a yellow card, not a red. So, yeah, there was a foul on... who would it have been? On one of our defenders. Shows him the yellow card, which is disappointing. But I guess free kick comes in. And, what I was going to say is I guess if there was a possibility of a red card to our player, then it's good that we've only got a yellow. But then they've gone one step further than that. Pushed further forward, found themselves in the free kick, and it was a very lovely free kick. Goalkeeper stood no chance, right in the side of the goal, so that makes it 1-1. All a bit strange for a minute there. I wasn't 100% sure what had happened with the original incident for Cruiser to get a yellow card, but obviously he deserved it, having looked at the VAR. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. You can see that they've also picked up a yellow card in ep11. And he's also picked up a bit of a knock, so maybe that'll disrupt them as the game moves forward. And the game has sort of calmed down a little bit since the first opening 20 minutes where it went quite highlight heavy. We've had lots of shots on goal, a couple on target. Possession stats are a bit disappointing, but we're in the game at half time. I'm going to get them in and suggest that I want to see something better from them. They're not performing quite as well as I would have liked, really. Let's see. We can still win this. Let's keep working hard. And then we'll go in and positively suggest you have the ability to make the difference. We're going to do that to each of the areas of the team, just to see if we can really get them up for the second half and really make it so they come out the traps fast and push on to try and get the win. They all look reasonably happy and motivated with that. So into the second half, Hoffenheim with the kickoff. That's the end of that highlight. So we'll see what the second half brings. They've had to make their substitution of bringing ep11 off because of his injury and his yellow card. So as I say, hopefully that's disrupted their plans slightly, which would be a good thing for us. Much less excitement in the first 10 minutes of this half than there was in the first 10 minutes of the first half. You can see that the stats remain fairly even, although our possession is not great still. But their corner kick comes in, they get an initial header and then a follow-up header, it looks like, and get their leading goal, which is really disappointing. Our ability to defend corners haven't been great. I mean, there was 2 on the line there. I'm going to have to restructure our corner defensive areas, I think, in the winter break. I'm not happy that I've noted that a couple of times now, so I will definitely change that in the next little while on the game. 67 minutes, we're losing ground on them now, so we're going to have to make a change and really see if we can push forward. So not only will I make a personnel change, let's go and pause the game, I'm going to come in and make a tactical change as well. So I've made several changes in terms of tactical stuff. I've really made us very attacking, a bit more direct, a bit more pressure and severity of tackle on their ball possession. I've changed personnel wise, just taken some off that weren't playing too well, just to see if we can get a better performance out of the new arrivals. Let's get back into the game and see if that can change anything. It's more about the tactical stuff that I'm hoping that we can really push forward and pressure them and try and find a route through to a couple of decent shots on goal, really, that we've lacked a bit. So here we go, our right hand side, but we lose the ball. They've given it straight back to Gok and goal though. long clearance from the goalkeeper, very good control by Mateta. Finds its way to Wassi in the middle to Burnich. What can he do? We lose the ball again, and they've got the counter-attack on. There's a huge gap in the middle, and I think they were offside maybe, or are we looking at a penalty? I think we're going to look at a penalty possibly. See what the referee has to say having looked at it. Orez looked like he's fouled somebody. Penalty is given. That's very disappointing. Oh dear. Again, you see, this is the issue that I was talking about a little bit in the first game, is that we're making lots of individual errors. Penalty scored, no problems. That doesn't surprise me. But it's the individual errors that they're just not concentrating enough. And unfortunately for me as the manager, it was one of my substitutes that came on that caused it. So that's very disappointing in itself. It looks like we're going to go down to one of our close rivals, which is not the way I intended this game to go at all. But that's, the way football is at times, I guess. Picking up yellow cards now. Hopefully none of them go any further than just a yellow card. Couple minutes left. There's nothing else much I can do. I mean, I've pushed people into more attacking positions. I've increased the tempo of our play, all sorts of things. That was a decent opportunity that came in that nothing actually came from in the end. Came of it on the end. Here we go. One last attempt maybe at getting a goal back. Burnich with the ball, out left to Bertram, long ball over the top to Mateta, uses his pace to get onto it, shoots, but the goalkeeper's there. And that's a little bit how Mateta's been in front of a goal. He often strikes right at the goalkeeper. Burnich on the edge of the area. Here he comes, cuts it out wide to Wassi. Can we get one last cross in? Turu on the cross maybe? No, he's gone backwards. That wasn't what we wanted. And that is the end of a very disappointing game. You can see, possession stats aside, we were even in the game, but simply we made individual error again that really cost us. And I don't know, that there's only so much I can do about some of the individual aspects of our play, really. I'm going to really be aggressive with them. These are the teams that we should be taking stuff. You were not points from. You were not good enough today. Again, that's motivated them. But now we go into a winter break, which is unfortunate that we finished the calendar year on such a down, really, because November and early December had been so positive. But we'll go and check out where that leaves us in the table. Where are we? There we are. You can see that obviously we've gone down a place at least because Hoffenheim went above us. It's very disappointing to finish behind them. But I guess that the positivity really is that look at the gap that we've got till the relegation area. And I did say if we finished in 15th and away from the relegation, I'd be happy. We're really on track for that. We're still within touching distance of a couple of people ahead of us, so we could still pick up a place or two in the next few games as after the winter break. But the winter break now happens. We'll check in and see what the games are for after that. We've got a couple still in January that I'll probably play away from the live videos, and we'll probably come back at Wolfsburg at the point where I can talk to you about any dealings that I've done in the transfer window. So there we are, United City still moving forward towards keeping in the division, which is positive, but a very poor end to the calendar year, which is been very disappointing. But I will see you next time. Thanks very much for watching this episode of the United City Randomiser Save. If you enjoyed the video, then why not click on the like button, as that would really help me. If you think you know anyone who would really enjoy my Football Manager content, then feel free to share this with them. But most importantly, if you would like to join my United City here on YouTube, then hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with my video releases. If you have anything you want to say about the United City Save or the channel itself, then feel free to leave a comment below, but please try and be nice with each other. That'll do for today, so until next time, stay happy and healthy, and I will see you soon.